Very excited about the program tonight. We've got from Saving Hope and from Smallville.
Talk about sweeping a girl off her feet.
She's so great when she's in the right chair. Erica Durance is on the program tonight. What's going on? Come on in. Welcome to the program. It's so nice to see you. I'm your boyfriend, George Strombo. Very excited about the program. The real benefit of the bad weather. I refuse to sit there and just go, oh, I hate it so much. I want to focus on how wonderful the opportunities could be with bad weather. The real joy is you can binge watch all the TV shows you want to watch with zero guilt. And the real good news is depending on what you take or drink while you're watching these shows, after 4 or 5 or 6 in a row, you feel like you live in that world. It was so bad when I rewatched The Wire, I had to watch the entire run of Saving Hope to bring me back to good times. I had to go back to a positive place. Very excited to have Erica Durance back on the program. Here's her story.
Margot Kidder, Kate Bosworth, Amy Adams, and Erica Durance. All of them have at one time or another played the part of Lois Lane.
Lois Lane.
If anyone asks, it's a typo. Your name's Lewis.
Hanging out in Smallville with Clark Kent made sense for Erica, who spent her early years mucking about the coops on a turkey farm outside of the small town of Three Hills, Alberta, home of the Prairie Bible Institute, by the way. And Erica says she holds on to that small town ethic, whether she's fending off zombies in House of the Dead, or on the cover of Maxim, or doctoring patients each week on the uber-popular Saving Hope, in which she plays a surgeon whose fiancé can see dead people.
When I know that she's okay, I'll move on.
That could take a while, Lou.
Right.
In the meantime, let's try this funeral home release. Couldn't hurt, right?
Please welcome back to the program, Erica Durance. Come on. Thank you. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
How are things?
Very good, thanks.
Congratulations on your new season.
I know.
You excited about that?
I am very excited.
It's interesting because you have these tried and true genres, with the exception of reality. You have your cop shows, you have your medical dramas, you have your sci-fi shows, and they have this, there's a real pedigree that they have. But Marshall McLuhan even talked about medical dramas, saying that this is where it's at for people. They will always connect to people because it's the thing that we don't have control over. It deals with everybody's fears and mortality. The longer you've been in it, the more people identify you with that. Do you see them relate to you differently?
I would say so, just in the sense that, yeah, I think it's because it touches people in a different way, and it has the serious quality of dealing with things that are really at people's heart.
And what was the thing in it that really connected with you, that really mattered?
It was the whole concept of how you deal with tragedy in your life, and I guess what the hope of the human spirit, and the fact that people continue. You can take a lot of things away from people, but if they still have that grain of hope, they can do and accomplish many amazing things. And so I think that was part of it for me specifically.
There's also this really neat part of it where it's one of those places in your life where you have to really embrace surrender. That for most of us, you think you can affect change here, affect change there. You get into the hospital, there's a lot of waiting, there's a lot of not knowing, there's a lot of relationshiping you're building with somebody that you don't know at all, who's your doctor or whatever. And there's so much surrender that I think is it's almost one of the most beautiful parts of a human character, isn't it?
Well, it cuts aside all the other things that all the superfluous stuff that we swim through, all the things that make us different. And you can have all those sort of elitist ideas about humanity and where people fit in the socioeconomics, and you can go on and get all distracted by all that, but when you actually get down to the nitty-gritty and you're sitting in that kind of life and death situation, everybody's equal, because everybody's going to experience having to go through that process. And so it's interesting as an actor because you can explore different ways that people would grieve, and the whole realm of acceptance, the whole stage of acceptance. And of course, then I actually get to speak with real doctors and the ones that are on the front lines that deal with this all the time, and talking to them about how people respond to them and in those moments and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, diving into the research is interesting because you got to hang around with people, in Toronto as well, watching them go through. They process a lot of joy and a lot of grief.
Yeah, there's just a certain thing that they carry with them. There's a certain self-possession that I noticed with a lot of them, and you can tell that they for whatever reason, have chosen to do this. It's their passion, and they're excellent at it, but it takes its toll on them, and they take it very seriously. And there's just a, you know, there was a doctor that was saying, I said, well, okay, so I have to do some of these scenes where you communicate that somebody's going to not get any better, or somebody has died. And I said, I don't know how you say that, because a lot of times as an actor, you're emoting and you're all emotional. It's not going to serve the situation. And he said, in that sense, well, you just do the best that you can with it, but it's not about you and your feelings about the situation. It's about you delivering the information to them. And so he said, you know, he's had people hit him and pound on him, people cry, all these things, and he goes, you're just there to give them the information. And I thought there was something very heroic about that.
And so raw.
Yeah.
Because he's just a representative of news in a way, right?
Yeah. And so there's a thing that comes across, that there is this really cool dynamic with doctors. And I mean, every doctor is going to be very different, but you also find that it's a survival mechanism. I mean, how terrible would it be if you had to deal with your grief and then the doctor's crying with you? Right. Like, oh, I'm sorry, am I supposed to comfort you now? Like, that's right. Not going to happen. So.
Yeah, and I bet you it's happened for sure, right?
Yeah.
And let me play this clip. And Alan Alda, who's one of the great doctors ever from MASH, was on our program. He said this.
They carted me down the mountain, you know, and the doctor says, a guy who was an expert in this problem in this small town in Chile, and that saved me alone. And he said, what's happened is some of your intestine has gone bad, and we have to cut out the bad part and sew the two good ends together. And they said, oh, you're going to do an end-to-end anastomosis. I mean, you should have seen his face when I said that. He said, how do you know that? I said, oh, I did many of them on MASH.
Right. Do you know what you're doing when you say the words?
Yeah, they tell us before. But yeah, sometimes it does get to a point where you'll have people telling you over and over again what it is, especially if your day goes really, really long. But an end-to-end anastomosis is a
good one.
It is a pretty good one.
All right, anthropology, you ready? Mm-hmm. I say ghost, you say?
Bastards.
I say, that's a good answer, by the way. I say turkey, you say?
Yuck.
I say, yuck. You just like, I've killed too many turkeys in my life.
I've killed too many. I've seen them.
Do you ever have nightmares and turkeys appear?
No, but I do get a little scared in parks when there are too many pigeons around.
I heard you were afraid of birds, and you think pigeons are on behalf of the dead turkeys that are coming to get you?
Maybe. Just karma. It's the universe.
Are you still afraid of water as well? I heard it was water and birds you were afraid of.
Yeah, I still don't do well with water. Even in the shower, I don't like how my face.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Do you like the shower cap this way?
I didn't know that I did that until I was in the shower, and Dave, my husband, goes, what are you doing to your face? So.
Hypothetical situation, you're having the night of your life as well as a bucket of wine at a rap party. When someone breaks out a karaoke machine, you rush the stage, you knock a couple of crew members over on your way, but it's worth it because you get to sing which song?
I Will Survive.
And it sounds like?
Amazing.
An example would be?
I'm not gonna do that.
I'm trying. Erica Durance, everybody. Saving Hope Season 3 Thursdays on CTV.